Hello,
yeah,
hello.
Yeah, you are.
Hello, Kelvin.
I found Simon from Wairere. Now, you are the
Business manager.
business manager, that's right. I was just talking to Pierre, actually, but I've talked to Pierre on camera before. Your turnout today, there's a lot of people here.
Yeah, and it's building all the time. I mean, it's really great to see.
Yeah.
It just reflects what's happening in the sheep breeding world within New Zealand. There's a growing interest in sheep that can help to reduce both the cost of growing wool and harvesting it. So,
Or not growing wool, of course.
Or not growing, well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Reducing that cost. So it's just an unstoppable sort of movement now, really.
Yeah. One tricky question, because you've rebranded the UK easycare and you've called them a nudie.
Yes.
And because of that, I've had a 1 month ban on Facebook, because putting sale and nudie in the same sentence, okay, gets you banned from certain places. Why the name change?
Well, I think, we do want to, branding is important in whatever you do. And these, we've gone to a lot of trouble. These sheep have actually come from 5 different flocks within the UK, from Northern Ireland, from Scotland, from Wales, from the UK. And it's a bit of a blend anyway of different, different breeds, not really different breeds, but different types of sheep, and we've focused on picking sheep from flocks that have been farmed naturally, no indoor lambing, all natural feeding, etc., and farmed in as close a manner to what's going to be experienced in New Zealand as anywhere. So we think it's justified to sort of give them a New Zealand brand, if you like, rather than just take someone else's. And really, what's in a name? It's just a name. easycare is just a brand that someone else put on their sheep. And like having something memorable, something that is unique, something that is, your brand is, and we're proud of it. We want them to be known, and it certainly generated some interest. But you're right about, between the nudies, the streakers, and the Brazilians that we've got going. Yeah, you've got to be. It's going to get us into trouble somewhere. No.
And of course, Yola Owen, who bred the easycare originally, he was supportive of your name change, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah, and poor Yolo died at age 92 on this day a year ago, the day of the auction here in Marsden, and he was probably the greatest influence in this whole movement away from wool. He wasn't really a farmer, but he farmed sheep, and he wanted to do other things. So he saw wool as just being a nuisance, and started down this track from the 1950s. And Yolo actually visited us at Wairere. He was a Nuffield scholar along with Derek, came to Wairere, and I can't remember when, but it would have been probably 25 to 30 years ago. And so knowingly or not, he's had a pretty big influence. Unfortunately, foot and mouth wiped out half his flock in the UK, and it was just fortunate that he had split his flock between his son and someone else prior to that disease taking place, and so half the flock survived. And then that what's his name, Hayden Woolley. Hayden Woolley. Oh yeah, exactly.
This is Hayden's and Ian McDougall's business.
That's right. Well, we really, they can thank us for starting that, because we found Hayden first and introduced Ian to Hayden, because we obviously extracted the genetics from that flock. So there's been, this hasn't just happened overnight. This has been going on for us for probably 5 years now. And probably been lucky that the world has moved our way. When we started down this track, it didn't necessarily, we couldn't envisage this. You never can. So there's a bit of a leap of faith and a bit of a punt, and Derek's pretty good at taking punts. To not try something new or different. And at the time, it was very different.
It's interesting, because we had shedding sheep in New Zealand for 30 odd years, but to do it in this way is very new, and we're still, I don't think shedding sheep they're just touching on the mainstream. So you were on that fringe of something really starting to move forward. We've seen a drop back a little bit in the ewe prices and that side of things, but by the turnout today, we can see that there's certainly a lot of demand for genetics. And you've done something else that a lot of the industry hasn't managed to nail, which is selling ram lambs.
Yeah.
Our industry is very two-tooth orientated.
Yes.
How do you do it?
Well, I guess you have a product that necessitates people having to buy a ram lamb because it puts them a year ahead.
Yeah.
If they're going to wait for kudos, they're going to miss out on using these sheep this season. And Wairere has sold ram lambs and used ram lambs ourselves forever.
Yeah.
So we recognise it as a genuine means of accelerating genetic gain, of providing another option for breeders when you make a change to your breeding structure or what you're offered to the market. It gives people the opportunity to get in a year earlier, so get ahead of the game. And if you make a decision to do something and you've got to wait another year, that's a pretty frustrating sort of experience. So, and we're impatient. We're impatient to get this ball rolling and giving it a pretty good push along. But we're just really responding to the market signal. The market's we're just service providers, really, and the market, if you looked at it carefully, was going to move this way, was moving this way anyway. We're just along for the ride. It's like another wave of change that's going to happen within the New Zealand sheep flock.
Yeah. How many of the people out here that you see today are here for a second or a third time?
Yeah, a pleasing number. I mean, that's one of the things that I've always said. You can sell something to a farmer once quite easily. Twice is difficult. If they come back for the third time, you've really got you've either got a very good product or a very gullible farmer. There's not many of them out there. So no, like there are definitely. I think pretty much everybody that's bought previously has wanted to buy again.
Yeah.
So the experience, the performance, all the things that, however they measure that success by, these sheep have ticked those boxes. And yeah, I mean that's a great reward for us because it shows us that, hey, we are actually on the right track.
And it shows that you've provided customers with a product that they want, and there's actually enough customers out there.
Oh, look, we're only scratching the surface, really. If you really look at Wairere already had a reasonably strong position within the market, and we might have been supplying, 6, 7, 8% of the maternal sheep genetics in New Zealand.
Yes. And that's a big number.
It is a big number. There's still another 90% plus out there. And doing this really has opened up a bigger market for us and for other people too. We're not the only ones, and this is going to be a big change, I think. And there's lots of other people doing good work with shedding sheep or hair sheep, call them what you like. But I like to refer to them as non-shearing sheep. Yeah, really.
So I've my Facebook page. I'm Shedding Sheep New Zealand on my own sheep and my YouTube channel, but I may sacrifice that and put it into into my public page. My public page is No Shear Sheep New Zealand and the world, and it's sort of reflecting that it's an animal that we don't have to shear.
Yes.
But whatever we call them, the idea is the same.
That's right.
We can argue over the semantics all we wanted.
Yeah. No, I think this is there's been an unrecognised movement happening for the last 15 or 20 years. There are people here, plenty of them have been farming Wiltshires for more than a decade, and
I've got 20 years.
The best thing that could have happened to them. Really,
but there are some people out there that have done it for 20 years.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So now this is a tricky question.
No, you're only allowed one tricky question.
Can I withdraw the other one? Because the other one, you handled the last one with ease.
Okay.
If we looked at your sales, and I know that these are new to your market, only 3 years in your market, if you were to make a surmise between your sales of your wool sheep in trends and the sales of your shedding sheep and the demand that you're seeing, are we seeing an upward trend for shedding and a downward trend or a stabilisation for the wool breeds?
Oh, definitely. All of those. Yeah, you've just got to look at the size of the New Zealand sheep flock. That's shrinking flat out.
Yes.
So as ram breeders, someone's got to be selling less rams, and they are mainly in the traditional Cookworths, romneys, whatever. That's just unavoidable. We've done very well as a business for the last, probably since 1970, growing our market share. That's how we've, all that time, New Zealand sheep flock's been shrinking and our sales have been going up. I think we've probably got to a point where there's intense competition amongst breeders of those traditional sheep.
Yes.
There's lots of good sheep out there. We were like the All Blacks for a while, head and shoulders above the rest.
Yes.
And everybody plays catch up, and that's the way all business goes. You can't, it's very hard to keep that sort of margin, and so there's intense competition. There's lots of good sheep out there in the traditional market, and we're part of that, and we think we're still pretty damn good at it, and that they are still the bulk of our sales. This is relatively small in terms of numbers, but it's certainly big in terms of generating interest and future demand. We think is going to come. And we're building our ewe flock as fast as we can. That's what, we'll make nearly 3,000 nudie-based sheep this year.
Wow.
That includes first cross and second cross and purebreds, and we've just, imported 1,600 embryos, 5,000 straws of semen being used. It's not for the faint-hearted.
Have you just put more embryos in for this year?
These are all embryos.
Yes. Are you putting more embryos in?
No.
The coming season. So that's for 1,600 over
3 years.
3 years. That's the animals. Got to get that correct.
And really, when you look at it, it's just a stopgap measure. It's enabled to supply the market with what they want in the short term, while we get our own breeding, up going and get enough of them on the ground that we can satisfy the market. And I don't think it'll matter. We've been aggressive. We've gone hard, but I still think we'll be short of being able to supply what's required.
Yeah, because you've got some New Zealand bred animals here today, which is great.
Yep.
That's really neat to see.
Yep. Some of these are graded up, nearly pure nudie, not quite. Yes. But graded up from our own base.
So,
and I think in the long run, those are going to be the best sheep that we produce, because they're coming up out of our existing flocks, our romneys base, our facial eczema sheep, grading them up, and we'll pull those good traits along with them.
Yeah, my top pick was lot 74. Lot 74 is actually a 3/4 nudie, quarter romney. Yes. It's not quite. There's something else. There's some Excelana in there or something in there as well. But roughly. Wasn't suitable for the person I was looking for, because they want that shedding. But if you were breeding a romney from a romney flock and you wanted to keep some constitution, perfect ram.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And I think too, if you look at those sheep that we have got in here with those sort of that parentage, they are the best shedded of those groups. And at the end of the day, some of these sheep, the shedding is variable. We see it in all the flocks. Those sheep will shed as well as anything. So I think they do offer a little bit different, but that's the way the whole market, or our market, is going to trend, and we're not going to import any more embryos.
That's done.
Are
you still going to have some semen? Still going to do a bit of semen?
Yeah, well, it's a good way to, if something good enough comes along that we think, we could benefit from infusing some of that, we'll certainly do it.
Perfect.
But we've cast the net really wide. We've used a lot of different sizes, and we've tried to keep a really broad genetic base, and I think that'll help us in the long run.
Excellent. Well, I better let you get back to doing your job. Thank you so much for the chat, and good luck with the sale.
Thanks, Kelvin. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Brothers, just by different size. What do you go on there? These are what for them. Somebody can set them light, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to make what? Make 5, they're going to make 5 and do it on there here. I'm a 2, then I get 2,000. 2,500. 2,500, 3,000. 3,000, 3,500, 3,500, 4,000. 4,500, 5,000. Ready? 5,500. 5,500. 5,500. They'll get go. 5,500. I'll take 2s. Hey, 6,000 up top. 6,2. 6,500. 6,800. 7,000. 7,000 on them. Where they go? Go to sell them, sir. 7,000 on them. There's a weight. 7,2. 7,2. Can you put them? 7,2 on them. 7,2 buys them. Yep, they go. 7,500. Round the money. bidding, 8,000. 8,000 on them, bidding, well done. 8,000 up top. Thank you, sir. Take them both forward.
I found Derek, who is the owner of Wairere, and he's probably farmed sheep for longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, I'm sure. You look very young.
And you've probably forgotten more about than I know about sheep.
Well, I hope so, because otherwise I wouldn't have. Well, no, that's saying the wrong thing. I wouldn't have learned much, but yeah, I learned it with my father from when I was very young and so on. And it's great to see another little revolution happening in the sheep industry here today. There's some of the top farmers in New Zealand are here looking to buy sheep that don't grow wool. And isn't this astonishing that New Zealand's economy was built on wool? Wool
Correct.
and gold. Oh, yeah.
You're a big supporter of the wool industry still.
I still try
You
to.
still like wool, and you're still pushing there.
Yeah, sure.
But at the same time, you're hedging your bets with these things.
Yes. The paths are diverging.
Yeah.
Farmers are wanting sheep with very minimal work, these type of sheep, and those who still have faith that the wool industry will blossom again. I think it's only going to blossom if we go through this deconstruction process into a pigment, powder, particles, and that looks very, very promising. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's taking time to get through to the market. There's going to be a new factory set up at the end of this year, October, November. It'll handle about 1,000 tonnes of scout wool per year. But we've got 100,000 tonnes in New Zealand.
Correct. And of your wool, and of course, I think part of the solution for wool is shedding sheep. If we reduce the numbers of sheep, the wool growers grow better product. If they sit down and go, well, actually, the market doesn't want the crap product. They don't want bellies. The market doesn't want them.
Yeah.
They don't want wool with thistles and blackberry and bramble and all that crap in it. So those guys should have shedding sheep and grow the best quality wool and more of these, which you're taking advantage of.
Yeah, sure.
Was it your idea, or did someone say, hey, we should have a go at this?
No, it was Pierre Simon's idea,
Yeah.
and he was selling rams in the UK for Wairere UK. We had a joint venture operating for 14 years. He had 3 years over there, and he got really keen on shedding sheep when he was in Australia. He had 4 years full-time in New Zealand. 2008, he got headhunted to a stud in Australia,
Yes.
and he actually imported some of their shedding sheep into New Zealand at that time and got several farmers in Canterbury keen on them, but it fell through the floor because wool prices were good enough that people stayed with wool. But this time around, we've had low wool prices for 7 years. It's costing us more to shear our sheep than what we get for the wool, let alone the dagging and the preparation and the time off pasture.
Yeah, that's right. How are they going on your farm? Simon said you're going to have 3,000 in the program with some genetics in there.
Yeah, sure.
That's a big number of animals.
Yeah, it's growing fast. Yeah, we've just expanded as quickly as possible. This all happened in 3 years.
Yep.
And it's happened because we spent a lot of money on embryos brought into New Zealand and semen as well. So we've got a lot of halves, a lot of 3/4, a smaller number of pures, but that's all going to go up fast, and we'll have 7/8, which are essentially pure very soon.
Yeah, I actually think, I'm just going to go up here like this. I actually think it's a really big statement for shedding sheep when one of the largest ram breeders in New Zealand goes, well, actually, we're going to have this as one of our lines.
Yes.
And you've got a lot of lines of sheep.
Yep,
And you've added this in.
Yep.
You've also, of course, you've added in the easy draft, which are Nudie Dominator, which is a
terminal which won't need shearing. The progeny
That's
won't need shearing until maybe May or June. They should all be gone by then.
yes, and on that, in fact, I think a lot of shedding farmers would do well to use a terminal ram at the end of the season,
Yeah, sure.
and they could use a Dominator.
Yep. You mean?
Same deal. If the lamb grows fast enough, it can be gone.
Yeah, that's what terminals are for, aren't they? You don't
That's
want
right.
them hanging around. But no, this is exciting. Just very happy to be involved. Otherwise, I'd just be looking like some conservative, traditional Romney breeder and
Yeah.
This gives us a real buzz, and for the whole Wairere team, they're right into it.
Yeah. Well, good luck with your sale. I'll be watching. And if I get a chance, if I see it then, I might have a chat and see if you're still smiling.
I thought you were going to say you'd have a bid. You're allowed to have a bid, and I'll exonerate you if you.
The only ones I'd be bidding on are the little Kerry Hill.
Oh yes.
Because there's someone in my life that would love me to take one home.
Yes.
But I've actually got another surprise for her happening anyway, so I won't be buying Kerry Hills. Though I was absolutely upset that I didn't register last year when you had those Dutch spotted Texels.
Yes.
Because I absolutely would have taken one of them, because that would have done what I wanted to do.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think those little panda things are fantastic, but I've got something else planned for my girlfriend.
Great.
Hey, take care.
Neat talking to you.
Awesome.
4,000, 4,500, 5,000, 5,500, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 up top. All bid. 5, 8,500, 8,500, 9,000, 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, 11,000 on him. Away he goes. I'll take the short ones again, come on. 11,500, 13, 12, 5, 12,500 up top, 12,500. Away he goes, left hand. Look at that, when he's done your sheep, he'll do the neighbours too. 12,500 on him. 12,500, away he goes, I sell him. Away he goes, I sell him at 12,500. Bidding, 13, 13,500. Yeah, I think he's finished. Give us a week two and I'll go with you, eh? 13,500, away he goes, I sell him at 13,500. Roydon. Good try. Roydon.
Lot 6.
Annual sale, and this is like a religious conversion. It seems to be gathering momentum. Don't consider yourself part of a cult. It really is something that's taking off, and we are delighted that it's going that way. And here Wairere has used things for bringing these sheep to New Zealand and persuading me that it was going to be worthwhile. And backed up by Simon down here in the pen here, and 2 against 1. I just had to say yes. So good luck for the auction today. The news is good. Progeny are great, and hope you take a few home.
Thanks, Gary. There's a few things I want to say, ladies and gentlemen. I think, as an industry, we're fortunate in New Zealand to have people like Derek and Chris Daniel, who, are so passionate about sheep farming and hill country farming and that, to invest in this. This was a gamble, and it's Derek's never been shy of having a crack sort of thing. But I sort of, he puts it down to me, but I also want to acknowledge the belief that he had in me. Derek and I don't agree on everything, and at times we've possibly disagreed on more things than we do agree on. But there's always been an underlying respect for each other's opinion, and that's what's I think for Derek and Chris and myself and my wife who's in the crowd, that's what's helped this relationship together. So thanks, Derek. Look, there's just a few other things that. I'm fortunate enough to work internationally a bit, and particularly in the UK and have been in Australia, so in the UK, I've got clients that just this week have been killing 19.5 kilo lambs at $350. He sent me a video into Sedgemoor Market in North Somerset on Saturday. 698 kilo exotic bred fat heifers made just under $7,000 New Zealand, and these prices are becoming fixed, and people are settled with it. And I think in New Zealand, like we're pretty quick to say, well, it can't last. Who's to say it won't last? And people in the UK are actually getting used to this, and people are still buying this meat. People aren't buying. Companies aren't buying it to lose money on it. The butchers are. It's alive and well. And this industry is alive and well. I think we're about to enter a golden era in New Zealand farming, and we're good at producing good quality food. And we are, as a business and an industry, agricultural industry in New Zealand. We are well respected worldwide. People in the still say holidays, people in the UK, New Zealand farmers more than anywhere else, and they're in awe of how we perform and the things we do. So, as Derek says, hats off, and we've got some of the best farmers in New Zealand that are using these sheep. So that's really good. So the terms and conditions today, ladies and gentlemen, we 35, 35, 35, make it 35, 4,000, 45, 5,000, 55, 55 on him, away he goes, I sell him, now 6,000, 6,5, 7,000, 7,5, 8,000 to your man, 8,5, 9,000, 9,5, 10,000, get your name in the payment, 5, 10, 5, away he goes, now the bit is right here in the left hand sheet, 10, 5, everybody out, away we go, I sell him at 10.5. Ready? Hold up. Put on your cert. Lot 31, 44 kilos. And lot 32 is 48. Lot 32, ladies and gentlemen, out of a 2017 born ewe. Look at that eye muscle to live weight on lot 31. 39%. Getting up into the top bracket there, ladies and gentlemen. Won't we go on them? Hey, come on, they're going to make 5 and do it on there here. 5, 4, 3, only 2, 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 2, 5, 2,500, 3,000, 5, 4,000, 5, 5,000, 5, 5 on it, 5, God, I'll take short ones, 5, 8, 6,000, 6,000 on it, away he goes, I sell it, now bid is up top, 6,000. 6,000 bid quick. Away he goes, I sell him at 6,000. Hold up. I'll take 2s. 5 2, 5 5, 5 8. 5 8. 6,000. 6 2. 6 5. 6 8. 6 8 on it. Only money here. Hey. 6 8. Away he goes, I sell him at 6 8. Up top, your number was. Both of them gone. Righto, now we've got one sheep withdrawn here, ladies and gentlemen. That's lot 94, so we've got lot 95 and 96. So just, look, I'll just give you a bit of a make-up on these sheep, ladies and gentlemen. Our endeavours to breed a terminal sire where people can get the extended life, extend their shearing out to sort of like, April, May. Most terminals have gone by then anyway, but shearing costs, it's another $5. A lot of finishers are looking to try and eliminate those costs, and we've learned a lot with these sheep. Finer micron sheep and tighter skin sheep, they are harder to take the wool off the actual back than what romneys are. So they have been shorn. I doubt whether they will grow much wool, but they, you can see already they're clean in the back end and clean in the belly. So you're looking to eliminate the dags in the winter or something like that, but hopefully they're all gone then. Same applies, ladies and gentlemen. They are all by the same sire. He was an Irish ram that we use by AI over our Dominator ewes. Okay, so it picks up, ladies and gentlemen, not 95 and 96. Where we go, similar light. They could make what? They could make 2,000 on it, 1,800. Who's got 15? I'm going to start with 1,000 and bit from there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm at $1,000. I'm at 1,000. I'm at 1,000. I'm at 1,200. I'm at 1,200. 1,200. I'm at 1,200. 1,200. I'm at 1,200. 1,500. 1,500. I'm at 1,500. 1,500. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take singles right from the word go here. 16, I'll put you in. 1,600. 1,600. I'm at 1,600. 1,600. Be quick. Where they go? I sell them. 1,700. 1,700. 1,800. 1,800. Ian, would you like to round it? Hey? Would you like a single there? 1,800. 1,800, be quick. Goes away with Doug. Away they go. I sell them at 1,800. Bidding, hold up. Doug, you like them both? Yeah, thank you, Doug. They go local. 1,800, Doug McKenzie.
That makes everyone go quiet, eh? Pull out camera. Boom. Farmers go quiet. Are you happy?
I was just saying there, it's been a win-win, hasn't it? And they laugh for some reason.
Do we have an average price yet?
No, I don't think so.
Oh well, I'll put an average price up here somewhere when I did this up for you. Thank you very much.
I know it's been an amazing sale. They've gone to all corners of the country.
Hello, Colin. I went the biggest sheep here, but hey, I've got to depart. I'm going to a meeting.
I'm going. Are you going to Chapel Street?
Yeah.
I see you there, eh?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to the same. I was invited to the same meeting. What are you doing? Come here. Okay. Yes.
Shedding sheep group.
So I'm going there, but oh, shit, I've forgotten the price now. 5538 average.
Average.
I think that was the average.
I haven't. I don't know, but
That was what Pierre just said. 5538 for the average.
Yeah.
That happy enough? Make you happy enough for the day?
Oh, absolutely. But I was just saying to Sophie that auctions always benefit one party or the other, and not usually both. So as a mechanism for selling sheep, that's good for the industry. It's not a great way to sell. I'd rather sell, and they would rather buy, with more time to consider, more options, and more certainty of price, on both sides. So, but we've got to do this while the demand far exceeds supply, and we've got to recoup the investment that we've made.
I did the maths when you said 1,600 embryos.
Yeah.
I did the maths. I got to very big numbers, so I can understand why you're needing to get these these earlies. Anyway, we'll see you at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah. Look forward to it.